If you are the first time coming across my channel, you're definitely welcome. And please do well to hit on the subscribe button, like my videos, and also put on your notification bell to be notified each time I upload a new video. And please also do well to like my videos. You're liking my videos so that YouTube will recommend it, okay? Please. So guys, it's been a while I made a tutorial on this channel. So today I'll be teaching us how to cut and sew a kimono jacket with trouser for an 8-year-old girl. Yeah. So here is the fabric I'm working with. So guys, without further ado, let's dive into the tutorial. So here are my working tools, and here is the baby girl's measurement. I believe we can't say this clearly, but I'm going to leave the measurement I'm working with on the description box below. So here is the wideness I'm working with. I'm still going to fold this into two. The wideness I'm working with is 20 inches and the length of my kimono is 40 inches, but I made it 43 inches. So now I'll be imputing all my vertical and horizontal measurements, and I'll come back to show us what next to do. Before then, I'm going to fold this into two, so that I'll be cutting it. I'll be putting all my measurements on it. So guys, I've gone ahead to fold it into two, and here is my starting line, which stands as my shoulder line. So from here, I'll be getting her shoulder measurement. The shoulder measurement I'm working with is 11 inches. 11 inches divided by 2 is 5.5. So I'll be marking down 5.5 here for her shoulder measurements. Alright, so after that, I'll be getting her armhole line. Her armhole line I'll be using is 6 inches. I'll be using 6 inches for her armhole line. So from her shoulder line, I'll be getting her half length. The half length I'm working with is 12 inches. From the half length, I'll be getting her hip points. The hip point I'll be working with is 6 inches for hip point. So after getting all these points, I'll go ahead. You see this her shoulder measurement that I impute here, I'll bring it down to her armhole line. So after running out the straight line, I'll be marking down the quarter of her bust measurement, quarter of her waist measurements, and quarter of her bust measurement and her hip measurement. But what I'll be working here is her hip measurement. I won't be making use of the bust and waist. I'll be making use of the hip for the bust line and the waist line, and also the hip line. Take it down. That's what I'm going to do right now. And I'm also adding 2 inches for ease and 1 inch for seam allowance, which is quarter of our hip measurement is 6 inches. 6 inches plus extra 2 inches for ease allowance is 8, plus 1 inch for seam allowance is 9. So that's what I'll be marking down on the fabric. So after connecting my straight lines from the bust down to the length, so I came down half an inch for the shoulder slope, and after that, for the back neckline, I came down by 1 inch for the back neckline. So for the width of the neck, I will be using 2.5 inches for the width of the neck, okay? Alright, so I'll be connecting it with my curve ruler. So after the connection, please, I guess we are all seeing the marking of the chalk. Please just bear with me, guys. So after the connection, I'll connect the shoulder line to the neck width. Okay, so now I'll get the midpoint of the shoulder armhole line. I'll come in by 1/2 inch. So use my curve ruler to connect the lines, the 3 lines together. So after the connection, then I'll go ahead and cut out the back neckline. Then I'm going to add 1/2 inch for the shoulder joining. I've gone ahead to cut this out, okay? And I also added 1/2 inch for the shoulder, for the armhole line, I mean to say, for the sleeve joining. So I've gone ahead to cut it out. So now what I'll be doing is I will take out the inner part which stands at the back. I will take it out and work on the front part of it. So guys, now for the neck depth for the front, I've already separated the back. I've separated the back from the front. So the neck depth for the front, I'll be using 5 inches for the neck depth for the front. Or I will use the chest line. I'll make use of the chest line. So from the chest line, I will come in by 1 inch. Then I'll mark this 1 inch down. Before then, let me connect the neck together. So after the connection, you see this 1 inch mark, I'm going to take it down to the length of the gown. So after that, I'll cut it out. So guys, I've gone ahead to cut this out. So that is it. This is the front part and this is for the back. So now what next I'll be doing, I will cut a long strip. By the time I will join the front and back together, I'm going to measure what I have starting from the end of the gown. Okay, I'm going to measure what I have starting from the end of the gown to the neck round and go back to the down again. Let's assume maybe it's giving me like 50. I'm going to cut out a long strap of 50 inches that I'll be using to turn the neckline and the down part of the gown. So I'll take us along on the turning so that you all understand what I'm trying to explain. So now moving on to the cutting of the trouser parts. So guys, here is for the trouser cutting. I've laid the material on my table. So what I have here, I have by length 30 and by width 23.25. That is what I'm having here. So mind you, this measurement is not constant, okay? It's not, I'm cutting this trouser for a little girl, so I'll be teaching us on how to cut and sew a normal pants. So now I'll be folding this into two, just like I did for the kimono jacket. After folding, I will come in here by 1.5 inch. So I'll take the 1.5 inch through the length of the trouser. So after marking out the 1.5 inches, I don't know if you can see this clearly. Please just bear with me. My chalk, I'll try to change this chalk, okay? So after marking out the 1.5 inches here, so now I will start all my measurements from this line, this 1.5 inches line, not here, okay? Not here, from this 1.5 inches line here. That's where I'll be starting my measurement. So this trouser is having an elastic at the waistband, so now I'll be using her hip measurement instead of her waist measurement. So her hip, before then I will get her hip point and the lap. So now to get her hip point, I'm going to divide her hip by 4. Her hip divided by 4 is 6 inches. So I'm going to add extra 1.5 inches. 1 inches for ease and a half inches for stitching allowance, making 7.5. So after that, I'll come down by 2.5 inches for her lap. Alright, so now I'm going to divide her hip measurement by 4, which is 6. I'll mark down the 6 here. I'll also mark it at the waistline. So after that, I'll come up here by 1.5 inch so that I'll be able to get the curve here. So after coming up by 1.5 inches, to get the crotch extension, so I will divide our hip measurement by 10. I'll divide it by 10 to get her crotch extension. Normally on a normal trouser, for the front pattern, you divide our hip measurement by 20, while for the back, you divide it by 10. But I'm cutting both together, so I'll be dividing both the front and the back by 10 inches. So guys, our hip divided by 10 is 2.4. I've gone ahead to mark it. 2.4. I've marked it. Here is it. So now I'll be getting her ankle measurement. The ankle measurement I'm working with is 14. So 14 divided by 2 is 7. So I'll be marking 7 inches. This is all for the drafting. Hope you can all see this clearly. So now I'll proceed to cut this out. Before cutting out, there is no need of adding half an inch seam allowance to this side, because that's the main reason why I left 1.5 inches here. So I will take out half an inch from this 1.5 inch, use it to join this side, and the remaining 1 inch I'll use it to stitch up this part. Cut this out. So now I'll take 2 parts of it like this. I'll go to the sewing machine and sew it up this way, and I'll do the same thing to this part. So after stitching, okay, I'll take us along on the sewing process. So now let's go to the sewing machine. So after stitching up the flat, I'll bring the two trousers together to join the two sides. Okay, so you see this place I'm pointing at right now. I came down by 2 inches starting from the waistline. I came down by 2 inches, which you see me doing right there. So I will start my stitching from that 2 inches that I came down. You know, I gave 1.5 inches for the sewing allowance. I told us earlier that half inch is to use to join the flap, then the remaining 1 inch is to use to sew the sides of the trouser. So now I'm using that 1 inch here to sew the sides of the trouser. That is what I'm doing right here. So once I'm done with the stitching of the two sides, so I'll come to the down part of the trouser, which is the full length of the trouser. So now I'm going to hem the down part of the trouser. I'm marking out the 2 inches which I gave earlier for the hemming of the down part of the trouser. So that is what I'm marking out there. So after the markings, I'll go ahead and stitch on it. Guys, I've gone ahead to stitch it up on my sewing machine. I've joined the trouser, I've joined everything together. So here is the waistline. Now I told us I came down by 2 inches. So from here now, I'll be measuring what I have here to here. Then I'll use it to cut out like 1 inch band that I'll be inserting my elastic inside of it, and I'll do the same thing at the back. So here is the outcome of the trouser. Here is the down part of it. So there is it. So, let me do it. Put it this way. So now let me go and cut out the band and fix it. So guys, here brings us to the end of today's tutorial. Please do well to like my videos, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you all on my next one.